All right, hey there. Good morning, everybody. Christopher Inks with Texas West Capital. It is just after 11 a.m. Central Standard Time here on Friday, the 5th of August. Can you guys believe we're already on the back end of summer? 2022, coming at you live from a overcast day here in Boerne, Texas. But as I continue to say, with any luck here in the next month or so, we'll be coming at you live from the Houston area. So we'll see how that goes. I've finally got a property locked down over there. Well, I've got the offering and everything, negotiating things right now. So we'll see. We'll see how that all works. Hopefully you guys are doing great. Remember, guys, when I move over there, we're going to look to start doing some kind of at least monthly, maybe even a bi-weekly kind of meetup. Probably on the weekends at times. So if that's something you're interested in, we'd love to meet up with you guys and see you and everything. Man, oh man, what a week though. How y'all doing? You doing good? It's been a good week. It's been a good week for us. I think we locked in, 20% on coin this week. Another, this morning, just another 27% profit there on net, which is Cloudflare. And then ALGN we got for 4% just the other day. So, stock's doing pretty good this week. We're up. Gosh, almost 30% almost in BNB and DOT right now. Bitcoin continues to do a little sideways down here at the lows. We'll see if we're bottomed out. Yeah, it's trying to. We'll see. I do believe that next push up is finally going to be the push that takes us into 30. So that's what we're kind of looking for. Potentially a series of 1-2s leading into that, which should give us a nice 3 of 3 and then whatnot following through. Good stuff going on there. Man, oh man, a little tough week on Forex this week. Just as this sideways, like this, basically a wave 4 or wave B, depending on what you're trading. So a bit more sideways than we'd normally like. But that should work itself out into next week. We had a huge jobs report this week. Oh man, huge upside, guys. We were expecting, consensus was around 250,000 jobs to be added. We actually added about 528,000. Huge upside there. And that's over the 300 and I believe it was 328 or so last month. Job unemployment there at 3.5%, still at those basically almost the all-time kind of lows, right? As we've talked about, though, that's historically, we're talking decades, has never held, right? Every time we get down to this 3.5, 3.7 kind of area, it turns around and goes up, right? And that's because you can't keep an economy running like that. You can't keep unemployment running like that, right? So that unemployment gets there when the economy's doing really well, but the economy can't, it's like everything else in the market, right? They just can't keep continuing to expand indefinitely, right? And so I think we're kind of hitting peak area here. That jobs report's probably going to signal, it's probably going to give the Fed what it needs to do a 75 basis point rate hike next month. But as I've been talking to you guys since spring, I believe, this end of Q3 into Q4 is going to be the last kind of big hike that they have. I think they're going to pull back after that. Other people are talking about, I've been talking about 2023, but we'll see, right? So we'll see what goes on there. As far as the stock market goes, a lot of people talking about how this looks like a bullish rally and not a just a bearish bounce. But again, if you study wave psychology, and this would be a wave 2 on the pullback, right? Because we adjusted the count to say we've got a leading diagonal for the indexes coming down, right, as a wave 1. So this wave 2 up, this is usually what you get. You get this, everybody believes that price is going to now continue with the original trend, right, with the bigger trend. And that's how wave 2s work. So we'll see if we get that. These indexes, from the short term all the way up to the daily and then getting beyond that all look pretty topped out. So I don't know that there's much upside at all left in it if there is. Again, this particular way of feeling of the market's kind of feeling here is usually what happens in a wave 2. Doesn't guarantee it's a wave 2. We could see higher, guys. So here's the thing. Y'all often ask me, not just the short-term trades, but you ask me for these longer-term ideas. And I give them to you, but always with the caveat that, these longer-term opinions are just that, they're opinions, right? Things have to happen in order to add more confidence to them, right? And so as things change locally, what time frame, local to time frames, right? That may change my longer term outlook, and that's okay, guys. You need to understand that is okay. That's what you should be doing if you're a trader. You need to be liquid, or fluid. You need to be able to move back and forth from what you think is going to happen to other possibilities. You can't just hold on in spite of, other information that comes in. So hopefully you guys are paying attention to that, all right? Let me see here. Who's here already? Bamboo, what's up, man? Jonas, good to see you, buddy, always. Oh, by the way, Jonas, I do see I have a DM from you. I have not had a chance to get to it yet. I do apologize, but I will get to it, today or this weekend, and I will respond to you, my friend. Matthew, what's going on there? Data's here. Melissa, good morning. Hank, what's up? He says, checking in from sunny, oh my gosh, I'm from Texas, man. I don't know if I can say that. Chairbug? I probably totally screwed that up. But I saw the pictures, man, on your Twitter there, man. I love it. It looks beautiful. Hey, Telluride, what's up, buddy? Good to see you checking in. Melissa, thank you. Blaze, what's up? Let's see here. Matthew would love to have a Dallas meetup as well as Houston. Man, I'll tell you what, I'd love to meet up everywhere. But, I'll actually be, if this whole current thing works out, it'll actually be on Lake Conroe is where I'll be. So that's north of Houston, puts me a little bit closer to Dallas. So maybe, I don't know, guys. Maybe there's a way, maybe it becomes a monthly meetup and maybe do one in Dallas and one down in Houston or something like that. I'll figure it out. If at all possible, I'll definitely do it, guys, though. Okay? Let me see here. Deadly, what's up, man? Let me see here. I appreciate you, buddy. Hopefully you have a great weekend, man. Andrew, go check it in here as well. Who else is there? Deli says, I'm bearish for obvious reasons, but you never know. We'll follow it, but I don't believe it. Are you talking about the stock market? Yeah. Again, I think the structure looks exceedingly bearish, but that doesn't mean it has to be, guys. Again, the one thing, as I said earlier about trading is that, you've got to have a position, an idea, right? But within that, you have to absolutely understand where your invalidation and validation levels are. You have to know at what point that price movement goes. Does it add more confirmation to your idea, or does it invalidate your idea? You have to know this. If you're trading without a handle on that, you're going to find yourself losing a lot of money that you don't need to, okay? So, man, oh man, yeah, so we'll see. We'll look at the charts here in just a minute as well. So, Andrew says, I love me some DKNG. Let's see here. Always surprising how you explain two reasonably identical charts, Bitcoin and Legacy, very differently. They're not reasonably identical. It's as simple as that. Yeah. Brian, what's up, man? Sarong is here. Good to see you guys. Brian says a Golden, Colorado meetup. That's a little bit large. That's a little bit far for me to travel. I don't know. We'll see. When I was in Lubbock, it would have been a lot closer, right? Richie, what's up, man? You got in-laws in Conroe? It's a gorgeous area, man. That whole, like I said, man, that whole Spring, Magnolia, Tomball, the Woodlands. Oh my gosh, love the Woodlands, man. Up there into Conroe, just absolutely gorgeous. And, if you can happen to get a place on Lake Conroe, man, it's just absolutely gorgeous out there. It's so nice. So peaceful. Matthew says, thoughts on a midterm rally for legacy markets? Yeah, we'll talk about that in just a minute here. All right, guys. Hey, listen, you can join us here at howtotradetowin.com. Don't forget, guys, right now we have got this going on, okay? So it's 50% off your tier 3, okay? It's already in there. So if you go to our site and you go in there, you go to the join us and go to tier 3 annual and you put it in there, the price reduction is already there. It's half off. But not only that, once you do that, you're going to get an email that tells you how to sync up your account with our Discord server so you can get access to all the tier 3 channels. And so when you do that, just send me a DM on the server there, a direct message there, and let me know. Let me know that you purchased it, and I'll give you 6 months of signals, guys, for, again, our FX, our crypto, or our stocks. Seems like everybody that's joined so far wants crypto. It is what it is. But like I said, we had a great week here with stocks as well. FX a little bit off, but again, we'll pick up on that as the next move comes in, and get that all set up. So that's the way to do it. Like I said, it's only valid for the first 100 customers. So get in while you can. When it's gone, it is gone, guys. Okay. We're having a little issue right now getting, for whatever reason, the signals, the ability to purchase just the signals, the monthly, is having trouble for sometimes showing up on the site. I'm not sure what the issue is at the moment. If you're interested in signing up for it and you cannot see it on the site, just send me a message or whatever. Let me know, and I'll give you a direct link to it. I should have it fixed this weekend, get it figured out. But I've been wrestling with that this week, trying to get it figured out. So I do apologize. But you can do that. Okay, guys? Let me see here. Let's kind of check out what is going on here. So we've got Bitcoin, right? So here we go. Potentially, let's kind of zoom out a bit here. Does it work if I purchase if you purchased last month? If you purchased what, a year last month? Yeah, you know what? If you purchased an annual last month, yeah, hit me up on a DM. I'll go ahead and give you the 6 months. Sure. But it's the year. So remember that, guys. Let me see here. So, right now we're looking at this, again, the idea that we've got this 1, 2, 1, 2, and then of wave Roman numeral 3 here, we've got potentially 1, 2 done. You can see that we've bottomed so far between the 50 and the 61.8, right here above the daily pivot. And this is, generally the area where we would expect to get that bounce, right? So again, WXYXZ, looking at this 333 coming down here. From that, it does look like we may have a 1, 2, but this bottom has to hold right here at 22,873 and 98 cents. So it does look like wave 2 is printing a possible flat correction there. If we do break down below here, all that means is that we're going to have to get a rally back above the swing high here before it drops down below wave circle 2 here. If it does drop down below wave circle 2, we'll look for an initial bounce or initial reversal at the daily pivot. But if it keeps on coming down here, we'll probably look closer to this S1 pivot down here on the 1 hour to see where that goes as a secondary kind of target as it comes down. Now, again, there is a lot of overlap here, guys. So there's potentially other possible counts that may be going on here. Again, we could maybe have a 1 and a 2 as a flat, and then, I don't know, maybe a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is a leading diagonal. Or I don't even know, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is leading diagonal here, and then a flat correction here. So, we could drop further and pull back here, toward, this swing low down here at 20.5 or even 20,100 kind of area, and still be, all right. It would just mean, hey, we got a 1 with a flat correction for a 2, and then we've got this leading diagonal with a flat correction as well. I mean, so, that's all it would be. It should be a 1, 2, 1, 2, which means the move up would be significant and strong and all that fun stuff, right? So, again, I see, gosh, you still see it. People just get so dang flip-floppy, wish-washy on their trades, right? On what they think's going on with the markets. Now, if we do happen to break out above the swing high here while wave 2 holds a support, that's going to give us a minimum expected wave 3 target up here at 24,547.5 or so. Breaking out above this lower wave parentheses X here at 23,650 is going to be like the first clue that wave 2 is probably complete. We need to see a breakout above this upper one here, this upper wave X at 24,192 or so, to really add confidence to the count. If it does, if we get this rally up here, wave circle 3 has a minimum expected target of 28,930. The larger degree wave Roman numeral 3 has a minimum expected target of 30,396. Wave parentheses Roman numeral 3 up here, so they get larger, right? This is wave 3 of this 3. This is wave 3 of this wave 3. Okay, and that one has a minimum expected target up there, 33,236. So we can get quite significant movement up, which is what we would generally expect with the 1, 2, 1, 2 here, right? So if we do 1, 2, 1, 2 there, we should get a nice rally up here. Now, my thought is, it's has been, right? The idea was either we're going to run into this high volume node here, pull back, and then break through, or we're going to break through, probably get closer to up here where this high volume node is at this support area, get up there, and then pull back to this one before rallying up. I mean, that's the big picture, guys. That's what we're looking at right now. I don't see, especially while we remain above the daily pivot, I don't see any reason to be bearish at all. Now, if we drop below the daily pivot, again, that could just suggest that the count is off in here. And, you know, we could even be looking down here at 19,815, which is the S1 pivot on the daily. I think if we're dropping, you know, big picture here, if we're dropping below that S1 pivot, I think we should use a lot of caution as far as further upside goes, because I think at that point, it's really signaling that we're probably heading down toward 14,000 area. You know, this would be 3, this would be 4, and then we'd have that 5 down. But in that case, you know, again, that would just, and then you'd get this rally back up, right? So, you know, you get some profit there to the downside, shorting it, and then you get a huge bit of profit potential rallying back up, right? So that's what we want to watch there. Let me see here. Yeah, so don't forget, you know, here we are off this high up here. That was almost 79. It was about 69 and a half or so up there, something like that. Let me see, on Coinbase, 69,000 where we stopped. So yeah, so just kind of looking for this, you know, again, looking at this as a WXY kind of correction here, you know, ABC, right? So that's kind of what we're looking at here. Let me see. You know, the big thing, again, is going to be this area right here. It's going to be getting across this 32,000 area, which, as you can see, is this whole support here, right? So, again, the idea being that if we can push up impulsively through it and then pull back to it and then push out, you know, that would be what we'd be looking for. If we just run up into it and have to pull back, we definitely want to see this area hold here and then break out through it, and then you'd probably come back and test it and go. I think either way, when you're breaking through it, you're going to come back and test this area because it's been support here. So, you know, you break out, you'll test that as support and then continue up. As you can see here on the daily, we've pulled back here. Stochk RSI is just at neutral right now. My neutral, you know, a lot of people do that basic 50, you know, 50 is your neutral. I use 45 to 55, give it kind of a range because, again, when you're trading, you know, price targets and things shouldn't be definitives. They should be understood as little ranges, little local ranges. So I do the same thing with that. RSI here, right there, at just about 50, finding a bounce, trying to pull up off that as well. And you can see that right here where it's finding that support is where, you know, previous kind of area of resistance has been. Right through here, right? Again, the 50% level. So nothing really surprising going on that. You know, this definitely looks corrective here. You've got a lot of very small-bodied candles, a lot of large wicks, a lot of overlap. This is what you look for corrections, right? So, you know, kind of like this right here. Same idea. That's what we're looking at there. So we'll see if we can get that breakout here, and then, of course, there, and head up. Let's see here. Hey, what's going on, Sylvia? Good to see you checking in, man. Let's see here. So, yeah, so that's kind of what we're watching here until it doesn't, right? So we'll see what goes on with it. You know, again, guys, you can have your bigger ideas of what you may think's going on, and you should. But, you know, you absolutely have to keep your mind open to what is happening, right? To what's going on there. So I have this, again, I have this as a 1 with a potential flat here. I mean, you know, I guess if we look at this, it could be 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gives us 1, 1, 2, 3. You know, this could be A, B, C coming down a little bit here, 4, and then 5 coming up. So, like I said, you know, it could still drop here. What we're looking for is for wave 2 to definitely, you know, terminate prior to breaking down below this wave circle 2 down here at 22,392.88. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for a termination on that down before it gets below there, and then a rally and a breakout above the swing high there. And at that point, that suggests we're probably headed up, but we gain confidence as we break through this X, and of course through the swing high. So as always, guys, I've been talking about this a lot lately. Don't think of trading as absolutes, okay? Think of your trading as something that moves further away from and closer to the likelihood that you're correct. Think of it as something more fluid like that. If you do that, you're more liable to pay attention to your risk management, which is the absolute number one most important thing of trading, guys. Period. End of sentence. If anybody is telling you differently, just walk away. I don't know that I've ever met anybody that's been successfully trading for 10 years or more that has said anything other than that. And I've known thousands of traders, okay? Very, very good traders as well. And so, I just don't get it. Sometimes, people are out there telling you, oh, don't put your stop loss on, and all this kind of, and it's just the dumbest dang way to trade I've ever heard of, okay? People that don't put the stop loss on, the reason why you don't is because you're scared that it might stop you out before it reverses and goes the other way. The problem with that is most of the time, if it stops you out, it's going a lot lower. Sometimes it'll go just a little bit lower and it'll go up. It is what it is, guys. You just look for a new entry. If you're in tier 3, we've got 2 years of different strategies, weekly strategies to get into trends, to get into trades, right? So, I mean, you can just go through that, pick your, whatever makes the most sense to you and use that to enter in. And then you don't ever have to be worried about it. So what? It hit your stop loss. So what? Now you've got your these rules-based systems to actually enter the trade, right? You don't have to be scared of, oh, I got lucky this one time. I think that's where we get a lot of traders losing money on there because they think, oh my gosh, I'm scared to take profit or whatever. I'm scared to put a stop loss on there because I might have got lucky, right? So unfortunately, it's going to be detrimental to your trading, guys. And I don't know how else to say it. It is what it is, right? Do you want to be right or do you want to be profitable? Because if you just want to be right, you're more likely than not going to end up wrong and unprofitable, right? But if you want to be profitable, then you're able to suck it up and deal with the idea that you were wrong and move on. I think social media plays such a negative impact, such a negative part to a lot of y'all out there as traders because, something looks really good, like really positive, and it does, right? And then the price goes the other way. But it looks real good, so you get out there and you're real boastful about it. You talk really big about it, and then it goes the other way, and then you're scared to say anything because all the idiots online will be like, "Oh, you're so wrong. Look, you're an idiot," and whatever. And you worry too much about that, guys. Are you trying to trade? Are you trying to be liked? Who cares what some Yahoo online with some stupid picture of a farm animal and some fake name says to you? Why does it matter? Stop doing this to yourselves. You're going to be a much better trader if you stop caring what those idiots on social media say. It doesn't matter, guys. The people, I understand it's difficult. I understand there's a lot because as human beings, all this pack mentality and we want to be liked and all this other nonsense. But if you don't learn to like yourself first, you're going to be constantly chasing the liking of other people. And in doing so, you're going to be miserable. It isn't just in trading, guys. It's in life, okay? I keep telling you, the way that you view and approach life is exactly the same way you're going to view and approach the markets, whether you like it or not. So if you're going to trade, you need to get your mind straight. You need to get your head straight, okay? Let me see here. Let's kind of catch up with you guys here. Yeah, man, those farm animals, we used to talk about them all the time, right? Everybody used to have those, the farm animal pictures, basically, and the names. Everybody's hiding behind anonymity, right? Because people think that, hey, if I'm anonymous, then people don't know who I am, and I can talk as much nonsense as I want. I can be the total jerk. Because, oh my gosh, some people are going to laugh, so they're going to like me if I act like a jerk. They're doing the same things, guys. They're just trying to get negative attention. If you're a parent, you know this, right? Your kids. What do your kids do? They sometimes they do bad things just to get attention, right? If you're not giving them attention, that's what they're going to do, right? They do things that they shouldn't be doing. So start thinking of those people online the same way, guys, the trolls, the idiots online. It is a 4-year-old mentality. Kind of scary to think about it, isn't it? And so as long as you are bowing down to that nonsense, seriously, what are you doing positively for yourself, okay? All right. So anyway, I'm off that now. Let's see. What other charts do we have here? Let's see. We've got, of course, this cloud chart. This is the 12-hour that we've been looking at for, a few weeks now, I guess, right? And so, again, finding support on this, this support resistance level right here. Nice bullish engulfing candle off that low. We're pulling back to the pivot right now, so we'll look for a rally backing up and off that. Makes sense, right? So we'll see if we can get it. Looking for a breakout through this resistance, and then, of course, through the flat top here of the cloud. If we can get a breakout, an impulsive breakout above the flat top of the cloud, that should indicate that we are headed higher at that point. That's just the way the clouds generally work. When you have a flat top on it, that's a major area of resistance. So if you break through it impulsively, and sometimes you'll come back and test it as support, that area, that's an indication that you're headed, that you've kind of reversed your, your trend there to head higher. So again, still looking at that 12-hour, we've crossed bullishly down here, breaking out Stochastic RSI of oversold. Again, kind of finding support down here around this same kind of support resistance level in that 40-ish area. So nothing terrible looking on there at the moment. We've still got about 7.5 hours left on this 12-hour candle. So a lot of time left to see how it turns out. Don't count your chickens before they're hatched, folks. We are still here on this 200 MA on the weekly, right? So again, 3 weeks back, we pushed it back above it and closed below it. Next week, we closed above it. Kind of doji candle going on here. This week, we're still sitting there in that same area. So we'll see if this doji is just a pause and then a rally higher. That's what I'm going to be looking for. Hash ribbons continue to curl in, continue to start closing up here. Nearing that bullish cross here on the MACD. Remember, this is all on the weekly time frame. Remember, this is after this bullish divergence in the MACD's histogram that we saw, right? For these points right here, these two swing lows. So, a lot of reason to believe it may be headed up higher. And in doing so, it should launch up higher. It should go well, up into 30 and above, right? So we'll see if we can get that. How else are we looking at this? Okay, this is the futures chart here. Again, counting this up here, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so it looks like potentially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then ABC, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, it looks like an ABC done here. Again, on this 6-hour here, we've got a nice outside bar bullish engulfing candle here off the swing low. Rallied up into resistance. See how we gap down right there, and we got the wicks, and we got the wicks here. That's all we kind of hit that area, so we've hit it here, 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 here multiple times. Should be emptying out whatever supply's in there, so we'll look if we can get this rally up now and continue higher up there toward those same kind of areas we were looking at. On this, I've got this kind of as a 1 and then a large flat correction here is a 2. And so we'll see if that's what we've got going on there. Again, so much overlap in this area, even here on the futures. It's not completely clear what the count may be, but we're going with the 1, 2, 1, 2, and until it shows us it may be something different, and then we'll look beyond that. And as always, we're looking here at Bear USD, which is that 3 times short Bitcoin token thing here, right? And so we rallied up into the pivot, which I discussed last time. This is on the 12-hour again here. We did get a bearish engulfing candle on the reversal. Found support right here in the previous area, support or resistance. Bouncing back up But we're up pretty high here, back up and overbought for Stochh RSI. So we'll see, again, riding it. We're all in this high volume node here. So we'll see if we can't get a rejection kind of where we're going to, right into this area here, and send it lower again. Don't forget, I'm looking for price to kind of come down here and target. Let me kind of put this on that lower time frame as well. Yeah, looking for it to kind of target at least the S1 pivot on the 12-hour here, but likely the ascending channel support here, right here at the high volume node. So they kind of merge here right around the 12th of August. So that's about another week from here or so. So we could potentially see this rally, drop on down here and then finally turn up and head up. But again, the idea would be down, up, and then break down and continue lower, continue below wave A over here at, what is that? A low of 54.25 at 54.25 there. So that's what we're going to look for, as it continues to move down there, right? Let me see here. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, looking at this here, could potentially be A, B, C is 1, 2, A, B, C is 3, 4, A, B, C is 5. And that'll get us, this area here. Which would work with what we're looking on Bitcoin, right? We're looking for a sudden move up, a nice big move up, right? That gives us a big move down. And then we could see it going the other way there potentially. But again, if we're mirroring Bitcoin here, then, again, it's the idea it's a 1-2-1-2 kind of thing. Same kind of count, just flipped, right? So, yeah. So we'll see how we can get with that. Hank says the 12-hour stochastic crossing above, below 20 seems to be working again. Too soon to tell, but that would be good news. Okay. Mike Slane, what's up, man? He says, if we still have wave 3 down to go in the major stock indexes, wouldn't you expect crypto to sell off as well since it's a risk-on asset? No. Again, guys, just because they're risk-on assets and potentially doesn't mean they all move in tandem, right? Especially at the beginning of a real kind of move down, right? You can have laggards. In Bitcoin, with everybody wanting to find somewhere to put money, and they know how well Bitcoin generally acts, and so the idea is Bitcoin's that extreme, right, where people would put money in even as other things are dropping potentially as it rallies up there. But again, there's nothing saying that wave 2 is done on the stocks. It could be wave A of 2, okay? Or wave X of 2, depending on how you're looking at that, or wave W of 2 to be done, right? So we could have, longer to go, make a little bit higher there with the stock indexes. And of course that leaves, if that's your concern, then that would leave a lot of open space for Bitcoin to run, right? So yeah. Let me see here. Okay, so so again, we just looking like we need to have some further downside here with Bear USD, which would add to the idea that we need to rally up here with Bitcoin, right? I mean, big picture on the Bitcoin here, you can kind of see on the Bitcoin. I just said that, man. Oh man, I'm old. All right, the TikTok, the Bitcoin, right? I've shown you this before on Bitcoin, but basically, we kind of look at. You can kind of see these areas in here, right? I'm just drawing these real quick, but generally, you've got this area here, and you found it, and then we broke out a little bit higher, and then we're pulling back to this other area right here. Again, they're always ranges, but, just kind of giving you a light show here real quick where you get the resistance, kind of support, rallies up through it, comes back down, tested as support, and heads up. Oh, shoot, didn't mean to do that. Guys, if you pay attention, you're going to pick up so much free like significant information on trading. A lot of people don't like to come here and listen to the channel because, it's an hour plus long. Everybody just wants to be told where to buy or sell. But if you're really interested in learning how to trade, you can pick up a lot of stuff here that I usually charge for, that I do charge for. But some things we talk about are when you have an area of support or resistance and you launch through it, whether it's up or down, but you go through it impulsively, you can all but be guaranteed that you're going to reach the resistance, pull back, and test it as support before rallying up. Right? So like in this case, it hit it, it bounced, and then it dropped through, right? In this case, it rallied straight up through it. So it comes back and tests it and heads up. That's what I was talking about. The same thing here at this, on Bitcoin at that 30,000 level. The idea that you rally up through it and then you pull back to it and test it as support and then you head back up. It would be the same idea as what we're seeing here, this kind of thing, if that were to happen. So if we get an impulsive breakout above that 32,000 range there, that cluster, that supply cluster over there, if we just zoom on up through it like this, we should expect to come back toward it, test it as support, and then rally off that. But unfortunately, people get very nervous and very antsy. FOMO, feel like they missed out. And so then they'll jump in at the top where the resistance is as it comes back to that support to test that. And so they get knocked out then. Or they get out because they're scared. They lose their money either way. Don't let that be you, okay? The odds are, I can't guarantee anything, but the odds are if we rally up through that strongly like that, we will come back to that 32,000 area and test it as support and then continue up higher. Okay? Yeah, that's fine, man. Mike, you can disagree. That's fine. I understand. There's a lot of people out there. It seems to be the narrative. But there's a lot of points. If you actually look at the charts and put them together, there's a lot of points at which they move in opposite directions. Bitcoin and the NASDAQ, for instance, or whatever index you kind of want to use as far as stocks go. So, it's like, when we talk about socioeconomic theory, right? Especially as it relates to finance. And we talk about how people, price action in news happens all day long, every day. But it's only at certain points do we choose to attribute that news to that price action. And then if we look historically, it's rarely something that always happens, or most of the time happens, right? If you get that book, Socioeconomic Theory of Finance, they've got a great bunch of examples in there. One of them has to do with a hurricane coming in and the price of oil and the refinery shutting down and whatever. And so the expectation was for price to do A, but it did B. Other things have to do with news events. The news event comes out one day and price does one thing, and then the next day price does something else, and they attribute it to the same news, right? And then we're talking about major news networks, journalists and whatever to do this. It is what it is. So I'm not big into correlations like that and news events and stuff like that, for that reason. But yeah. So we'll see. Yeah, but again, maybe stocks have higher to go, maybe they've got a new all-time high to go, the indexes. And in that case, then, your narrative's fine and it works, right? It goes up, Bitcoin goes up, right? Yeah. So, again, guys, I'm not here to argue things and whatever with you, I just have a certain way that I look at things based on my experience and the things that, my years of doing this. It doesn't mean that I'm always right. I'm the first one to tell you that. Don't ever listen to anybody that sits there and tries to tell you they're always right. I've done really well since 2018 here publicly with the interest rates. I've been spot on. So we'll see if I can continue that here into the next month or two. See if the Fed, does the one final big hike and then starts toning it down. We'll see. But I've had a good track record calling them, and it's usually been opposite of what the Fed says. If you guys have been following me, here live, you'll know what I'm talking about. So we'll see. But again, past performance not indicative of future results, right? Guys, listen. At the end of the day, I am just like you. I'm not a wizard. I don't have a crystal ball. I always want to say silver ball for some reason. I don't have a crystal ball or anything. All I do is strong risk management, and then I use what I've learned over the years to try to get an idea of what may be going down. But at the end of the day, guys, it all comes down to that risk management. It really does. And that's why I keep harping on it to y'all. There's no way I could be doing this for as long as I did, have done as well as I've done if it wasn't for risk management. All right? It's really what it's all about. At the end of the day, did you beat Inverse Kramer or not? I've done a lot better than Kramer's public calls. Now, I don't know what he's actually done as far as his trading's really gone on. Yeah, I mean, overall, I've generally done better than Kramer. But a lot of people have, you know. I don't think that I'm special in that way or anything. But, you know, it is what it is, right? Yeah, Mike, definitely agree, buddy. Sure thing, man. You know, and I'm glad you're bringing up other things as well. You know, I like to discuss other ideas, guys. My problem comes when people come in and they're disrespectful and rude and just jerks, right? But as I've always done, man, I love listening to other ideas. And because, you know, at the end of the day, again, like I said, I'm a human being just like the rest of you guys. And you actually might see something that I don't see in a way that see something in a way that I didn't see it. And I would much rather, if that turns out to be true, I'd much rather be wrong and make money than try to be right and end up being wrong anyway and lose money, right? That's what it is. Sure. Do I chart the crypto total market cap at all? I've done it at times. Remind me a little bit later in here, and I'll see if I've got a chart somewhere that it's probably old. But I do chart the Bitcoin dominance for tier 3. We do that weekly, as well as the indexes, shit perp, exchange perp, mid perp, all those kind of things with that. So part of, you know, tier 3's thing there. All right. So anyway, yeah. So here's this right here. Let's kind of get on here real quick, guys. Then I'll come to that other stuff. All right. Let's see here. DXY. So again, huge blowout number there to the upside for jobs, which is bullish for the dollar because it means the Fed is likely to raise interest rates, which gives us a stronger dollar, right? So I've kind of updated the count here to a WXY, potentially wave 2, maybe being done, maybe having to go up higher. I mean, I think there's a good argument for potentially being done here. You know, we'll see. We'll see. What we're going to look for is a breakdown below kind of this, well, this hourly pivot's going to be done at the end of today. So I would look for a drop down below this swing low area. See that resistance support? As the first real big clue. Dropping down below this one right here at 106.158 is going to be the first clue that wave 2 may be complete. Or it's going to hint that it may be. Dropping down below this one over here is going to give us a clue that it is. And then, of course, dropping down below wave X. 105.668 is going to add confidence to the count. And that gives us a minimum expected wave 3 target down here of 103. Okay? So that's what I look for. Now, if we do break out above wave 2 here, to me, it looks like ABC. And so we go, okay, well, there's 3. This is 4. And we look for 5 up. So 5 up, potentially up here around the EQ of this structure up here. Maybe around 114. If that's going to be the case. But until that happens, we'll look for lower there, right? Let me see here. We were looking at 6RE, the Real Estate Select Sector Index, remember? And I had this target up here. This wave C target up in this area. And so it looks like we may potentially be done. Breaking down below the 3-day pivot here is going to be the first clue that wave B is done. Breaking down below wave B here at 196.31 is going to add confidence to the count. And then we'll be looking at wave C coming on down here, probably around 152 or something like that. So, you know, again, this is, you know, a barometer for, or kind of telling you what's going on with housing maybe. You know, I've been talking, you know, since spring. I talked about that potentially topping out with housing and us coming down, and we've been coming down since. So I think we've still got further to go, which makes it suck buying a house. But I'll be honest with you guys. What I'm looking at right now, the guy happened to be in foreclosure. Didn't know it until I made an offer. And so we've got built-in potentially 30% equity right now. So even if prices are coming down, I'm going to feel better because I'm not going to be immediately underwater with that. So that's pretty great. But, I did talk about that, right? I talked about how as the market was topping out and the economy starts, where you start getting people losing their jobs and everything's tightening and things become more expensive, that we would see this, right? We would see people, the foreclosures rising with housing, whatever, which they have been. The other things we've noted over the last few months are declines in mortgage applications, declines in the size of mortgages, declines in open houses, declines in showings, declines in houses coming on the market. But the number of people actually viewing the homes and buying all that is so much significantly less than the decline in actual houses coming onto the market. So it's really become basically, in many places, quite a few places, a buyer's market, more or less. I mean, it's crazy, man. I'm seeing, we were talking about the beginning of this year. I've been walking you guys through this, right? And we were seeing houses going on the market, and like 3 days later, they had 20 or 25 offers. And so they sold above what the price was, right? And now I'm seeing, I've no kidding, guys. I'm seeing guys on there with these homes, they're listing, for instance, one of the ones I was looking at, they came on the market at $790,000, and in 2 weeks dropped it to $550,000, and then a week later dropped it, to $480,000. But we're seeing a lot of this where they're coming on, and it's surprising me, within a week or two, they're making significant drops on these housing prices, on these offers. So, of offering for sale there. So, nothing really changing here. I think we just continue heading down with real estate, right? Let me see here. This, of course, is the energy sector. I talked about the fact that I believed energy is probably topped out prior, right? And we're coming down. And so, this is what we were looking up. We rallied up to the up there at the end of July on the daily here to the 50% retracement. And now we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So wave 1, wave 2 should rally up into this area. And then wave 3 should continue down. Dropping down below wave B here, support at $69.66. Should indicate that we are heading further down. Remember, I've got this wave C potentially down here at around $44.40 on that. So if you've been shorting the last few days and last few weeks, as we've been talking about, man, you guys are making some money. Congratulations. I would look for a breakdown, below this swing low here as a good confirmation to probably short again on that. Andrew says numbers are reflecting investors' decline in house buying too. Yeah. He says, which will help individuals. Sure, yeah. Let's see here. Let me kind of catch up with you guys here real quick. Let me get the... So yeah, there's other charts in here real quick since we're already at just about 12 o'clock. Let's look at the stock market, shall we? Let's see. We can look here at the NASDAQ composite, as we always do, IXIC, right? So right now, I'm potentially looking at this. Wave 2 may be complete just prior to the 50% level. I've got it as an AB and then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here. So this ending diagonal, right? ABC is 1, 2, ABC is 3, 4, ABC is 5. We did yesterday, we had this kind of like this hammer candle up here at the top. And then today we've got this reversal hammer coming on here. We are topped out and kind of curling down now and overbought there on the daily Stoke RSI. Stoke popped out briefly for that day there, above into overbought there, and we're back down and below that. Dropping down below 12,260.48 is going to hint that wave 2 may be complete. Daily pivot there at 11,917.77 kind of area. Breaking through, that's going to be the first real clue. Breaking down below wave B here at 10,850 and 0.01 should add confidence to count and say that wave 3 is in progress. And if it is, guys, if it is, that gives us then, let's break down here. We're going to look to get much lower down here, right? I think we get 5 waves down potentially into this, at least into this wave 4 area here. I think we get 5 waves down into this area at least. So we've got this right here and then this right here. Man, it keeps pulling my things off here. I don't know why. I'm not going to mess with them at the moment. My labels, it keeps moving them all around. But anyway, yeah, so I mean, I think we've got further downside there. Like I said, the daily is pretty topped out there. 4 hour, again, topped out. 1 hour was topped out, dropped down now. So we'll see what goes on the lower time frames, right? 15-minute didn't quite hit oversold here, but did with Stochastic RSI and trying to bounce back out there. If we go out to the bigger time frames, 3 days about topped out in Stochastic RSI. Come out here. And you'll notice, I mean, really, we just got through this resistance and ran into the, or through this resistance and ran into this resistance, right? I mean, that's all we've done really at this point. Weekly is up here, up there, topped out and overbought, starting to curl over a bit. You know, so. You know, is it possible? I mean, you know, again, we're looking at this. I say ABC, but maybe it's a WXY, right? Maybe it's ABC and then ABC, right? So WXY. But again, you know, as long as we're rallying up, I mean, I think if we were to rally further, even if we were to pull back here, I think we get caught up in this cluster right here. So, you know, if this is just A and then we've got a B on the pullback, you know, we should be pulling back toward this 11.5 area. Probably, maybe even down here into 11,200, kind of in the wick here at this previous area of support resistance. And then, you know, wave C or whatever is going to come up here toward probably the S1 pivot, or on a push, you know, with it being after such a long bull run, we could see a strong continuation up with wave 2 into this whole pivot area, this weekly pivot area. I could see that, sure. Just a deep kind of push up in there, because everybody's, you know, again, assuming that it's all done, that gets you the 78.6. So we'll see what happens locally here. We'll see if we do get that breakdown below wave B here. You know, I mean, this if I look here, you know, it's still possible. Maybe this is A, B, C, D, E as a triangle, right? So you get A, B, C, and then A, B, C, D, E as a triangle, then A, B, C. And so, you know, again, might be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to get right up here around that R1 pivot 50%. So if we do break out higher, as I've told Discord, this is our target up here, R1 daily pivot to the 50% retracement right there. If it does. Not really a whole lot changing or different on the other two. Now, the one thing we can notice here is we do have non-confirmation with the previous here, yesterday's higher high here. We'll have that with we've got the higher high with this NASDAQ composite, and we've got it with the S&P E-minis, but we don't have it with the Dow. The Dow is a non-confirmation, which again suggests that at least a short-term top is here for some kind of pullback, right? Because remember, it's all about those non-confirmations if you've got things to look for, right? Always pay attention to non-confirmations. It doesn't guarantee that things are going to do, you know, that, but it does add to the idea that they probably will, right? And again, notice we're getting these resistances at this point at or around the wave 4s. And you remember, usually your initial target for wave 2 is wave 4, the lesser degree. So when you do this larger wave 2, it usually targets that wave 4 area. Doesn't mean it can't continue higher, but it usually targets that area. These are the E-minis here. Again, same idea, A, B, C done here potentially at this 50% wave 4 kind of area. If it does continue higher, if it does break out higher, we're going to look for that R1 to the 61.8 right here, 43.2275 as the target. But, you know, again, same idea. If we drop down through 40.80.5, that'll hint that wave 2 is complete. Breaking down through the daily pivot will be the first real clue that it is. Breaking down below wave parentheses B there at 3723.75 will add confidence to the count and suggest that wave 3 is in progress. Remember, this one here is a leading diagonal type of move here, right? Let me see here. And so with that, of course, we then have the Dow. Now, again, as I talked about, the Dow is that non-confirmation because, again, yesterday, higher high here, right? But the Dow made its high over here on the 1st. And it's made lower high, it made a lower high here 2 days back. And then kind of coming down after that, right? So we're just kind of right now we're just range bound between the daily close on the 1st of August and the daily close on the 2nd of August. We're just range bound right there. So as with the others, breaking out higher, going to give us initial target of this, this kind of the wave 4 resistance around 33,248. Breaking out above there, then we can look at the R1 pivot to 61.8 up here. 61.8's at 33,973 or so. But, if we break down below 32,387.12 here on the Dow, that's going to hint wave 2 is complete. First real clue comes on a breakdown, especially impulsively below the daily pivot there. And then if we do break down below wave B, support at 31.43 and 93 there, that should indicate that wave 3 is in progress. So, yeah, I mean, as I said, there's nothing here saying right now that it needs to go up higher. But if it does, I could definitely see, as I've talked about before, see it rallying up here toward this 78% retracement area. So this would end up being A, and then you get a pullback for B, and then you get a C up there, which means this will take probably at least another month to do something like that at least. So yeah, I could definitely see that happening, but nothing in this structure at all says that I should be changing to the idea that we're breaking out to a new all-time high. Not yet anyway. We'll have to see. If we do get the pullback and the rally up towards 78.6, we'll really have to take a look at that, the way those waves are advancing there to kind of decide, okay, maybe is it looking bullish for a new all-time high? Don't get me wrong, guys. I would love to see one. Why? Because it's going to be easy friggin' money. When you're getting toward the end of bull runs there and everybody's bullish and price just keeps on slapping up higher, I mean, man, it's hard to argue, to lose money in something like that. So it's definitely would be very easy to make money. Definitely would happen. But for right now, I don't see that as the main idea is what's likely to happen at this point. Let me see here. So oil. Let me see here. Yeah, I think so. I mean, I really think that if this is going up, I think that would be probably a final wave 5. The only other thing I could think about is that this would be 1-2 of 5. And now, the funny thing about that would align with the idea, right, that Bitcoin is potentially doing a 1-2 of 5. Remember, I kind of floated that idea out there? Definitely way too early to say something like that's happening, but there's always that possibility, right? And so if you believe in the correlation of the indexes and Bitcoin, and you thought maybe, coming off that March 2020 low, that's a wave 4, and then this is 1 and 2 of 5, well, for you, that would definitely would play into that, right? In either case, I think this final push up to a new all-time high for Bitcoin is going to be the final one for a long time. I think we get a huge retracement after that. Again, kind of cleansing out the last 12 years currently, and potentially more, depending on how long that takes, right, of Bitcoin's activity, right? You have to clear out all that. You got to get people to get out, not necessarily to lose money, but just to say, okay, it's time to get out now. It's time to lock in these profits kind of thing. Yeah. So, yeah, at least a 3-4 working on a 5 of 5, but potentially even a 1-2 of 5. I say that now. There's nothing in this that says that that's such a strong thing that could happen, but I can't say it's definitely not possible, right? And so what we'll be looking for, we'll be looking to see if do we get the normal. For instance, if this was to be a 3 and this was to be a 4, normally we'd be looking for wave 5 here on the Dow to target 42, 280, 10 area. Okay? That's just normal expectation. Okay? 44, 42, 280, 10. There we go. All right. So if we were to see a continued rally impulsively above that, then that starts leaning to the idea maybe this is a 1-2, in which case then, we come measure out 1, 2 and see where does 3 go from that, right? Something like this here. You go 1, 2. And you kind of look for that 3 up, right? Probably have to use fibs based on log scale here. Maybe not. Okay. Anyway, it looks like it would be quite a high way up, but maybe it just becomes an ending diagonal, right? Because this says wave 3 would be up here around 59,952. Wave 5 up here at 67,000. I'm going to tell you what, guys. If that happens, make all the money in the world you can make on that way up. Think about your entries. Be smart about them. Don't take unnecessary chances. Make that money and keep it, because man, oh man, the breakdown after that would be insane. And you want to be prepared for that, right? Now, we've come back here. What is this? We've pulled back here. Not quite 38.2 yet. So, there's that to look at as well. And so we'll see. We'll see what happens. Right now, there's nothing out there screaming that the count needs to be something different, but I am open to it if price action suggests maybe that it will. And like I said, guys, if it does, y'all, especially if you're new to trading the last few years, you are going to be in the place to make just literally generational wealth if you do it right. If you do it right. And you don't want to do it wrong, because if this is the final of the final, we're going up in some wave 5, whether it's wave 5 or wave 3 of 5. You want to make as much of that as you can and make sure that you hold on to it. So, again, it means not just jumping in all willy-dilly. It's learn how to trade ASAP, so you can be much more intelligent about your entries and whatnot as it moves there. The Dow RSI Weekly had an oversold and bull div. Let's see what we got here. Bullish divergence. I got this on the weekly. Oh yeah, we did have a higher lows off that. Yeah. Yep. Definitely led way to this. You can see we rallied up to the S1, pulled back, broke out above that into, again, the same kind of resistance area here. Matter of fact, I think I've got that bullish divergence on one of those charts that I've shown you guys. On the monthly, we do have a bouncing off the bottom here, a bullish cross and attempt to break out of oversold. We had that in this area here before. We kind of hit the oversold, just slightly broke out, came back down and oversold again, and then rallied up into overbought, and then that's your March move there, your February March move down to the low there, and then here we are up again, right? Yeah, I'm just trying to look at this. I'm trying to see if maybe the monthly shows maybe a clearer picture of something different. Big picture, guys, as long as we're sitting below that monthly weekly pivot, which is right there around 34,300, as long as we're below that, your bias should be downside. It doesn't mean you can't be entertaining thoughts of further upside, but it should be that overall this trend is down. I think if we're breaking impulsively above that, then that gives you good reason to start thinking, okay, maybe there's an all-time high incoming at that point. You don't win points by saying it here. Again, guys, the idea of these calls, they happen sometimes, and yeah, it's great, but regularly you're not going to be able to do that. So don't think that you have to figure things out, right here at the very top when it happens, or right here at the very low when it happens. Just trade, if you get that rebound off here, trade that rally up, but be looking, have an idea of what may be going on and where you might want to take some profits along the way. And then at what point you should start looking at maybe more upside on that, okay? I mean, that's the way you trade it, guys. That's the way you do it. All right? I mean, if I look here, this looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, B, C. Maybe a flat here. Maybe a 1, A, B, C. But it would have to end prior to that swing high right there at 32,912.74. Ultimately need to get below this wave X here to head on down there. Great reset at 2030. Get the money now. Yeah, I mean it, guys. I'm telling you. Again, as you can see here, I have my ideas of what I think is going to happen, right? But I am not oblivious to the possibility that it does rally up higher, right? Because again, if it does, it is going to be such an environment. It's going to be such an easy environment to make money for you. And the last thing you want to do is to screw it up. Because after that, you're going to have to learn to trade a bear market. You're going to have to learn to trade a serious down market for quite a while. And it's a lot easier, guys, to trade a bull market, right? In a bull market, everybody's a genius, right? There's a reason for that. Let me see here. I said oil, right? Let me pull up some oil here. Maybe. See if I can grab this. Come on. There we go. There's my oil. Still dropping. I've got a minimum expected wave 3 target down here at 81.27. Again, if we zoom out to the bigger picture, again, looks like 1, 2, and, working our way down here, right? It looks like potentially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, bigger 3 coming in. However, if this is the top here, again, I'm looking at price probably getting down to around the 30s. When it's all said and done. So down into this area here, probably. But, not oblivious to the fact that maybe we could rally from the 50 area here. Same thing with gold, right? So if we're looking at gold, I've talked to you guys about this week after week for, what, a year or more here? Just flip your computer upside down, bear market turns to bull. Hank says, in a clear, trendy market, everyone is a genius. Let me see here. Yeah, so, it looks like wave A may be done here on gold. We need to see a breakdown here below wave 4 to kind of confirm that. If so, I'm looking for wave B to come on down here to around 1727 to 1744 kind of area. Fill in this gap maybe even on that move. Again, I think this is only A of a rally up of an ABC for wave 2 here. And so if this is only an A and then we got a B and a C, then again, the stock market could be doing what I was talking about, where this is not just 2, but it's A. We get a pullback for B, and then we get C up higher, or it's a WX and get a Y higher. Same idea, right? But again, nothing in here shouting gold needs to be making some kind of new all-time high, right? But we'll see. If this is an A and we get a B down here, it may find support right here at the daily pivot and not even make it to the green. So we'll see. But that gives us a wave C probably at least at the 50% at 1867.90. And if it continues beyond that, then maybe the 61.8 up here at 1915. But, again, wave 2s generally target wave 4 the lesser degree, right? So, again, that 50% looks like a great first target right there, initial target. But, make sure you note that where we're at right now is the high volume node right here. So, again, that could be it, and then we head lower. But we would need to see some kind of breakdown, below what's wave 2 over here at 1709 and 10 cents. But, as I was saying with gold here, the same idea. I'm expecting price to to break on down below 1,000 here, right? Because I'm looking at the structure here I'm looking at this structure as being an A, a B, and a C for an expanded flat, right? And so coming down into this area, right? But I'm not oblivious to the idea that maybe we just did a bounce here. We reverse at this 1280 kind of area, 1300 area. So while I'm looking down here, I'm keeping my eyes open in this area as well to see if that move down says maybe ABC done, and we end up getting a what we call a running flat, which is basically a breakout well above where wave A would begin, right? This would be wave A. So it breaks out above that, and then it only pulls back, partially into wave A there before it finds a bottom and rallies up higher. So I am going to watch that as well. Let's see here. Let's see here. So silver's no different, really, guys. Just going to pull it up here. Silver kind of running, pretty much hand in hand with gold, except I think this is just wave 4 completing here. We had the target here of the daily pivot. Since this was our wave 3 target, then we had our wave 4 target right here. So we're looking for a breakout higher, which should give us potentially a wave 3 target here at the R1 pivot. So, depending on how we're looking at this, silver may not be as far advanced as gold, or gold's count may be a little off, and we may have still some little bit further upside to run with it. But often there is that idea of the non-confirmation, right, which leads to reversals. So we're going to watch this to see if kind of get these targets as we head on out. Wave 2, again, the other idea here is this is an A, B, C coming up here, right? So it'll be a W and then an X and then a Y. So basically initially our wave 2 target is this wave 4 resistance area here. Potentially right there around 22.5. So that's kind of this area here where we're looking for wave 2 to go. If it breaks out above that, then we can look up here at the 61.8, right around 23.39. For sure. Let me see here. Let me see. Let me kind of pull this over here. Let me see if I got another chart here for you guys before I go. Man, that BNB is so close to our take profit there. That'd be almost 35% profit on that one. Let's see. How about yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I got another chart here. Let me see real quick. Oh, I've got natural gas. Let's pull that up. There we go. Since we saw the oil, might as well check out natural gas, see how that's going, right? Here we go. Natural gas. So, again, looking at the possibility that maybe 5 is done here, right? And so looking at maybe a 1, 2 is done. If we're done here with a flat correction for 2, notice it goes right above wave 4 here. Then we're looking at maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, and we need to see a breakdown for 5. Let's see if this rally this morning took it out. Let's see. 82.48, 82.23. Yeah, so again, potentially 1, 2, 3, 4. We need to see a breakdown to give us 5 waves down. If we're breaking out above this swing high here at 84.50, it would suggest that we probably got further upside. In that case, this may just be A and then B, and then we've still got C to go up there. How high might that be? You get the 61.8 up here, about 8.85, which is around that wave 2 area. Possibly. With this large wick up here, there's a lot of supply in that. I could even see us rallying up toward that wick area up there, getting a really deep wave 2, and then getting rejected. But, again, if we do break down below this swing low here, that'll give us 5 down, and we'll continue to look further. We need a breakdown below 7.550 to kind of say, okay, yeah, add confidence to the count. Wave circle 3 is in progress down here toward 5.072 on that. Let me see here. Have we done the yen yet? What do you mean, have we done the yen yet? Yen is like at the cheapest levels that it's been in, God dog, at least against the dollar. And well, it's made a good pullback, the USD yen has. But man, this is ridiculous. 50 years, 60 years cheap, man. I know there are probably people out there right now loading up on yen with that. Let's see here. Oh. So, we can pull this up. Maybe. Try again. I am having issues at the moment, it seems like, with TradingView. Let's try... Oh, wait, there it comes. All right, let's see if we can pull up DraftKings here. Since Mr. Bennett, I think it's all he cares about these days, is DraftKings. So yeah, here we go. First thing I want to notice from here is we do have consolidation at the lows. We have volume drop off, and then we have this nice big move out, the spike of volume coming up through. So if I'm looking at this, it looks like accumulation. Like this right here. So you get your, your preliminary support, selling climax, automatic rally, secondary test in phase B, last point of support, show of strength, last point of support, and then this rally up this right here becomes your jump across the creek, it looks like, because that gives you this spike of volume and this large candle spread through the supply here. And you rally up to this show of strength up here, which is nothing other than your previous area of resistance. Let me see here. Yeah, this is a W. Is this WXY? You've got an ABC. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it looks like ABC and then ABC. So it looks like a WXY here. I was looking originally, maybe this is a 1 with an A and a B and a C as a flat. It's like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But there's just a lot of overlap in here. Let me kind of catch up what you're saying here. Better than expected earnings here, you said, for them? No, the earnings weren't good. The surprise was the revenue. And that seems to be with a few of them. So we've seen this type of thing happening with, what was it? Was it Amazon? I think Apple beat on both, but I think it was Amazon that was down in earnings, but surprise in revenue, or the other way around. We also saw this same thing with, what was it recently? Was it, oh my gosh. Was it Net? No, Net was last night. Not ALGN. LCID, I think. Maybe it was LCID that had they missed on revenue, on earnings, but surprised the upside on revenue. Yeah. So, I mean, we've seen this happen, multiple different times lately here. Yeah. So, again, coming up here, this looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this looks like 1 and then, 1 and then A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is a flat. So 1, 2 maybe. Let me see how that would be there. So hit the 1618. Yeah, the 2.0 there. Yeah. So this right here would have to be a 1, 2, and then this is a 1, 2, 3. We'll get a 4 on the pullback. We'll get a 5. Gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, let me see here. If I'm looking at this right now, I think it's possible. Maybe that's 5 up there. Let's see here. We get a pullback. 38.2 will just about fill in that gap. So it should be at least that. I don't think this is a leading diagonal here. I don't think that is. I think this is kind of what we're seeing, again, with Bitcoin, right? So we see the 1, 2, and then we see a 1, 2, right? And then right now we're at that 1, 2 of the 3. This is what I would expect, just so you see here, this is what I would expect out of Bitcoin. If the count's correct on it, where it stands, the 1, 2, 1, 2, that 1, 2, 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3 coming in, right? So right now we would be at this point is what I would be looking at for Bitcoin, and then we'd expect some nice move, breakout, really kind of heading higher. It's not exactly the same because Bitcoin is a little bit higher on that, but overall, same kind of idea. Let me see here. So 2160 maybe. Let me see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need a bigger. Be 5 there, and then we just have to kind of figure out. That comes off this swing low over here. So if this is a 1, 2 right here, then and there's a lot of things that have to hold here. Obviously, we have to hit these targets and do these things, right? Maybe up there around 25, 30 or so. If this holds as this kind of count here. And even with this, it doesn't have to mean that that it's bottomed out. I mean, this could very well just be, 1. And then this is an A, B, C is 2 here and heading back. I mean, that gives you basically a 50% retracement, right? Just right below that 50% there. But then that would have to be something like A, B, and then coming down here with this C. But I haven't looked at any of the rest of this. Did they break down all the way down below there? What's on the daily? That's almost all-time lows there. Wow. Big drop down there. What goes up must come down, right? And this looks like, of course, a head and shoulders here at the top up there. Something like this. Stop drawing head and shoulders just horizontally all the time, guys. It's not always that. Most of the time it's going to be at an angle. So this is, this would be your neckline right here. Yeah, so your neckline would be this thing right here. You see it tested, it bounced up, finished the shoulder, came down, tested, bounced up, and then boom. Well, it dropped down, rallied back up, and then continued lower there. But see, that target it probably doesn't even come close to what the to where price actually went. Yeah, see, nowhere even close to it. Kept on coming down there off that. Yeah, the Head and Shoulders was your out when it topped. Yeah, man, definitely. You're going all in on AMTD Digital, Mike. Andrew says the big thing he's watching for DraftKings is going strong into NFTs. Let's see here. Hank's got a chart here. What do you got? This is your quarterly chart? Yeah. Again, just running into your resistance up here. It's what we would expect, right? So we've got this supply structure up here, which we peaked into and get rejected at. Let me see. Yeah, it looks like could be a 1 or an A, and then an A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as a C as a flat. And you've got this finishing down here, this lower. And then, of course, move back up. So the good thing this chart shows here, guys, is something I've talked about, which is why trading Forex is so enjoyable. Because you don't get, or you shouldn't get, biased about, when you look at legacy or crypto, you're always looking right and up, right? Because you're expecting to just consistently gain in value. And what happens, with currencies is they tend to range. And now it might take years to get through the range, right? But it's not expected to consistently rally against it forever and ever and ever, in general, right? And so, that's what we got. We kind of, if we keep that in mind, we've kind of gotten to the top here, and we should head on back down, right? But we will see, right? This right here only goes back to, looks like maybe 95. So depending on what this is right here, this is yen. Okay. Yeah. So, again, we could see this continuing, pulling back to stay in that range depending on that. As Hank's pointing out here, your RSI and your stochastics really high off that. You can see that you've got this spike of volume into resistance here. You said this is quarterly, right? Yeah, okay. So, right now we're about not quite half in volume there. We've got this doji. It looks like it wants to reverse off, right? With that. If I look at this looks like a triangle. This looks like A, B, C, D, E. So that would say to me A, B, C. And get a pullback off that. So yeah, if I'm looking at that, that's what I'm thinking. And just to look at this big chart here, with that price action right there. Now I could be wrong. This is just 3 up though. This is WXY, it looks like. I don't think I'm wrong. I think it's a triangle right there, which this is the thrust then, right? Which means if this is the thrust, it could have a little bit higher. This could be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll get 5 for a bit higher, which might actually push toward the EQ here in this supply structure. Potentially. But if I'm looking at this right here, if I'm honest, we go 1, 2, 3, right? So ABC, And then again, WXY, whoops, Y right here, right? And then ABC, and then potentially ABC right here as well. Yeah. You're saying 150.709 based on a 1-to-1 extension. Yeah, we'll see if it can make it. Yeah, we'll see if it can make it. But as you noted, we're pretty topped out on that quarterly right there with the RSI and Stochh RSI. As a matter of fact, this is the first time RSI has been that high. You can see here since back here in 90, well, RSI starts out right over here in about 96, 97. So it almost broke out right here, and then it did break out finally right in there. So yeah, it's really interesting. Yeah. Anyway, all right, guys, listen, it's well after where I need to be out of here, so I'm going to get out of here. Really appreciate you guys showing up. Like I said, you can jump in on our deal right now, right? So you can come on in here. If you go to our site, howtotradetowin.com, and you go to the shop and you can't find the shop link there or join us link, and you can't find the signals page to purchase. Like I said, it's an issue I'm working on at the moment here, trying to figure out why it's only showing up sometimes. But you can shoot me a quick message or email or something, and I'll send you back a direct link to that page, so you get that. It should be fixed sometime this weekend. I'll have time to sit down and really kind of go through it and figure it out. But like I said, you get half off Tier 3 because at the end of the day, guys, it really is about learning. And the more you can actually learn about trading, even if you're using signals, the more likely you are to choose the signals that are going to be more profitable, right? Signals are basically automated, based on certain info that comes in. But, sometimes you look at it and you go, well, it's not looking, or as it gets toward the entry, you're like, well, maybe it's not looking as great as you'd like it to. And then you don't. But anyway, you can do it 50% off Tier 3R annual. And you'll also get 6 months of signals, either crypto, stocks, or FX if you'd like, guys. I'll put that in there. Normally, those are going to be $79 a month. And by the way, those prices are going to go up. We are so far behind what other signals providers are charging right now. But here's the thing. Here's what I'm going to do. I always do this. If you're in right now while it's still, say, $79, if you just go month to month, right, and you get that, I'll grandfather you in for as long as you remain subscribed for it. So if we, jump our price up to, 100 or 130 a month, 150 a month, whatever it happens to be, as long as you just remain a subscriber for that $79 a month, I'll let you have that $79 a month. I usually do that with everything we do, guys, as far as services that we add out there. We usually grandfather people in as long as they remain a member. So I'll do that for y'all, okay? Diego, is that you? Look at the blue on blue. Yep. This has got the time wrong. You'll watch the upload right away. All right, man. Do I think the Dow Jones will look like the Nikkei? I've told you what I think the Dow Jones is doing earlier, and that's my thoughts. So we'll see what happens, right? As far as price action continues to play out. I've got my larger term pictures on all this stuff as I've talked to you guys about, but definitely open to possibilities being different as new information comes in on the shorter time frames, and we see how the price action continues to play up. Okay. All right, guys. I hope you guys have an amazing, absolute amazing weekend. However we're going to say that. I think we'll probably have some more information out about AlphaTrader TV and AlphaTrader.social. As well as TraderSessions.com, which is the other thing that I didn't mention the other day. I told you that I wanted to really kind of get into trader psychology with you guys. Again, psychology is part of my educational background, applied psychology, one of my master's degrees. And of course, just my experience being a trader for, 25 years just about now, I guess it is, right? More than 25. Is it 25? What? Since 95. So whatever that is. 10, 25, God, 27 years now? Holy crud, I'm old. Anyway, and that's going to be pretty awesome. Again, that's going to have, the plan there is to have a whole bunch of content related to trader psychology, blog post, newsletter, at least monthly, but potentially bi-weekly podcast. So we'll have that coming out as well. And I think that may be free, or at least most of it may be free. So anyway, so much stuff going on, guys. As always, I really appreciate you guys joining in. The only thing you control in the market is how much you lose, guys. Okay, that's it. So please keep working that risk management. And really, I can't wait to speak with you guys there on Tuesday, okay? Or if you're in Discord or you join Discord, man, I'll see you guys over there, all right? All right, you guys, take care.